It literally started recording. But I
Uh,
missed it. Um, okay. Well then, since I hit record and I couldn't actually stop it from the countdown, are you ready to roll?
yeah, whenever you are.
All right, cool. Welcome to the very first episode of the Waypoint Unknown. I am not your host today, but my name is Danon Coleman. You can find me occasionally online at Adventure with Danon, and I have the actual host of this very first episode, John Berkmeyer, the owner of Sunshine State Adventure Company, the creator of the Florida Adventure Trail, and a few more things that are up his sleeve that you may or may not have heard about it. So, John, would you please introduce yourself, then introduce me?
Okay. Well, I think you did a great job of introducing me right there at the top. I'm John, and yeah, I'm the host today on the first ever Waypoint Unknown podcast. We're really excited about getting this up and running and creating content that hopefully you want to hear and listen to, those of you that are listening to this podcast. Ultimately, the goal will be for Danon to be the primary host of the Waypoint Unknown podcast, with guests cycling in and out, as well as co-hosts cycling in and out, myself included. But yeah, I own Sunshine State Adventure Co. I also co-own Sunshine State Overland Outfitters, which is an off-road and overland outfitter shop in Newberry, Florida, right outside of Gainesville. I designed the Florida Adventure Trail and the Southern Florida Adventure Trail, and acquired the Panhandle Adventure Trail from a buddy of mine a few years ago. So now we have over 3,000 miles of trails mapped out here in the state of Florida. And
Yeah.
Danon is one of my great, amazing friends, and has joined the Sunshine State ecosystem team, and just want to help our all the people that follow us get more content and stay connected to what's happening in the off-road and overland sphere um, through this podcast. So really excited about your involvement in that, Dane. And this has been a dream of mine to be able to do, and I know it's been a
Me
dream of
too.
yours as well.
Yeah, man.
And so for us to be able to do it together is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. I couldn't have had a better partner for this. That's for sure. So, yeah. I have officially joined the Sunshine State Adventure Company team. Let it be known, it is purely for the money and not for the pleasure of it.
We're all so rich now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Man, dollars flow to my pocket like they do into my rover. So it's a net zero for me. But
I think it's
yes.
a negative for all of us actually, but it's still fun. Still
Oh,
fun.
no. All right. I am going back to a Toyota, so you won't have to worry about that anymore.
It's a good choice.
Um, yes. So let me give everyone a little bit about my background. I have been in the overland space in an official capacity since about 2015, I think. I was one of the first overland bound regional ambassadors. I helped actually build that program, and so I did a lot of work with Overland Bound. I'm actually an investor. I'm a member, one of the early members. I'm 1358, I think, and there's over 20,000 members now. And so I've always just kept a pulse on the Overland community, but as an influencer and content creator, well, it's sort of an inside joke. And by sort of, I mean officially an inside joke that if Danon records it, it'll never see the light of YouTube. So um, I admit that up until a few weeks ago, I was in fact 7 years behind on my adventure videos but with that being said, I now have an editor helping me to edit my videos, and I'm now only 5
About
years
time.
behind, or maybe 6 years. So,
You're really making some big strides here.
yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
am. I got my 2016 video released, um, and it's about 5 minutes long.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
super behind on stuff too, if it makes you feel any better.
No,
But
it
Danon,
doesn't actually.
none of this really would have happened, like the Waypoint Unknown podcast, the Waypoint Unknown, film that we put out as a group. There's a lot of things that would not have happened if it wasn't for your um willingness to, like, meet with me and frankly your excitement around the Florida Adventure Trail early on, there would not have been any of that would have happened. Like when I sent out those early emails to people
Yeah.
and Instagram stuff and all of that, like your excitement, I think helped Brad and Asia and everybody else get excited as well. So you've been a
Yeah.
part of kind of this whole crazy adventure for quite some time.
Yeah, thanks, man. I thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, and as you were saying that, I just remembered when when Asia got the email from you, he's like, hey guys, let me show you something. This looks like spam, but I just want to run it by you." I'm like, "No, I know that dude." Uh, because I'd seen one of your early videos
Yeah.
and
Well, and we had DM'd, I think, on Instagram
had
as
we?
well
Okay.
about some stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I may not have read those messages I'm yet.
No, no, I think you did. I think early on, maybe it was Facebook or Instagram or something,
Yeah.
we had messaged back and forth and
Yeah, because at
yeah.
that time, I was still, a regional director for Overland Bound.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, and I wanted to get the fat into in fact, I may have even written an article on the fat on Overland Bound. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I'm reasonably certain I did. I did a whole thing on it. I when we did the fat when you were doing your release videos,
Mhm.
I buckled down and I did in fact record, edit, and release the videos just for you. And I think I also did an article on Overland Bound at the same
Yeah.
time
I
as I
think I remember you doing that. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
So, Danon, you and I know the vision. We've talked a lot about the vision and the goal for this podcast. We really want to create regular content that will inspire people to experience their own adventure, whether that's, motorcycle travel, trail rides on the weekends, or big trips, big adventures, whatever that looks like. 4x4, off-roading, overlanding, whatever you want to call it.
Car
Um,
camping.
Car
That's the era I
camping.
come from.
Yeah, yeah, whatever it is, like, the hope is that we can inspire people to do that and connect them to content about, different places to see, companies to connect with,
Yes.
all of that. So,
Yes.
when you think about kinda like when you envision the end, when you imagine the end of, in a year from now, the content that we're gonna put together, tell us a little bit or tell our wonderful listeners a little bit about like what they can expect from the Waypoint Unknown podcast.
Yeah, so you've pretty much hit the nail on the head of what our purpose is. To expand on that, what I'd like to do is I'm sure we're gonna have a little bit of dispelling some myths, right? W I am very much a, "Hey, do I actually need this gear?"
Mm.
Right? "Yeah, it looks beautiful. Yes, I certainly want it. Do I need it, though? And will I use it?" And so, one of the things that when we all show up at a campsite and our John, actually, you are very similar to me. Um, for those of us that have been doing this a lot of years, you pare down. You start off with an enormous amount of gear, which consequently could be an enormous expense as well, unnecessarily. And you just pare down, pare down, pare down, pare down, pare down. Now, not everybody does that. That's how I operate, right? So,
Or if
I
you have
went,
a Nissan Xterra and you have basically no cargo space anyways, you're forced to pare down, pare down, pare down, pare down,
yeah,
pare down.
yeah,
I see
yeah,
these guys with these like full size rigs and the toppers and everything, and I'm so envious of the amount of room that they have for all this stuff. And I'm just like, yep, nope, can't do that.
yeah. But the truth of the matter is you don't need all that stuff. So the Rover does have a lot of cargo space, but I I bring my full setup, and maybe I should do a video on this sometime, but my full setup is basically just pillows, couple of pillows, sleeping bag, air mattress, battery bank, fridge, some cooking equipment, and my side little toilet shower thing. Um, I've wanted an awning for ages, but haven't done it because qu- just most of the time, well, no, it is critical in Florida. I really wish I had an awning, and I will be getting one. once I get my next vehicle. But, you know, you just need a lot less than you think.
Totally.
And one of the things that until you have children. Now, overlanding with children, that's a different story. And we'll
Right.
actually talk about that.
Mhm.
Specifically Brad and I, and because he's got 2 kids, I've got 3. But, you know, when we show up to a campsite, as soon as I park, I'm pretty much done setting up, you know? And that's a far cry from a lot of people that have these 20-minute to 1 hour setup and breakdown times.
Yeah.
So, well, that was a really long answer to basically say, yeah, we're gonna talk about what do you and don't you need,
Sure.
or potentially, like, nothing's set in stone, everybody. You can do whatever you want. You can have as much gear as you want or have as little as you want, and you know what? That's your prerogative. It's totally
Yeah.
fine. We're not here to judge you. It's just gonna be our information based on our experiences.
Totally. Yeah, and I think the goal will be to have a wide array of guests on who are
Yes.
doing it in different ways. You know, I met a guy recently who came by our shop, Sunshine State Overland Outfitters, and he has a really, really, really sweet van. That's, you know, it's a Quigley conversion, and you know, I mean, it's like a full blown camper on the inside, and he's been all over the place in the thing, and you know, can he do a lot of trails? Absolutely. Can he do all of the trails that like my rig can do? Absolutely not. But everybody's doing things differently, and I think that's the beauty of all of this. Is like I think that once you can kind of get an idea and gain some perspective on the type of travel, the types of places you want to go, the type of off roading you want to do, whether you have kids or not, who's coming with
Yeah,
you, all of that. And so I think,
yeah,
you know, the beauty of our vision for this podcast is having a wide variety of guests on, people that are you know, experiencing adventure 4-wheel and 2-wheel,
yeah.
and everything in
6
between
wheel.
probably. Yeah, 6-wheel, who knows? So, yeah, I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited about, um, you know, the ability that we'll have to have different people in the industry come on and tell us
Yes.
about what's new and what's coming, and to I think in some ways humanize even these companies that support the overland off-road industry. Like, you know,
Yes.
one of the things I've been so surprised by, with now running this, you know, outdoor adventure overland shop, is all these companies that we're dealers for now. Like, I'm talking to real life people, and
Yeah.
these companies that seem like they're really big are actually really small, and they're owned by somebody. You know, it's not some huge, you know, for the most part, most of the companies
It's
that's
not ARB.
no, it's not ARB, you know, like, Ironman 4x4 USA is a great example. We do a lot of business with them, and they're a small team, and, you know, our
I love
sales.
their videos, actually.
Yeah, their videos are great, and their products are great, you know, and, Luke, who is the guy that we, you know, make do our orders with and who helps us, like, he's just a guy. Like,
Yeah.
it's not some
He's our kinda I feel
he's
like
our
he's
kind
our
of
kinda guy
is,
too.
yeah, you know, like, he's
Yeah.
into overlanding, he has a rig, he's, you know, goes all over the place, and he, like, this isn't just a job for him, it's his passion, and so I think that's such a cool thing that was not expecting as we got into this industry, and building out trucks and stuff. Like, even Clayton Off Road, which is another company we do a lot of stuff with, like, that's a bigger company, but it's still just a small group of people who are pulling the thing off. And so I think there's some really cool stuff that will come with being able to have cool conversations with amazing companies like that.
Yeah. I totally agree, man. So, I'm glad you brought that up because I just got really chatty about, overland gear, but we definitely want people to understand that these companies that we work with or that we have on this podcast, first of all, they're not paying to be here, and they're here because we believe in their products.
Right.
And that we want to show to you that it's possible to do business for you people to do business with people, not some nameless, faceless
Right.
corporation.
Mhm.
Not
Absolutely.
and actually, to be honest, like I find that most companies in this space aren't just these huge corporations that
No.
are
Yeah.
there to decrease product quality but keep the profits up. That's not what these people
No.
are here for.
There are
So
some that are like that,
definitely,
but they're the
and we'll probably bring it up.
Right, yeah, and, like, so, actually, right now at the shop, we have this Tundra that we're doing a full build on that's gonna be so sick, and I know you're a
It's
Tundra
not my
guy,
Tundra.
so, no, it's not yours, but this Tundra is gonna be so cool when it's done. I mean, the owner has basically given us the keys, and we're doing a full build on this thing. Full
Uh,
build, full build, full build.
Dear owner, thank you for giving John Shop the keys for that, so that they know exactly what they're doing when I give them my
Yes.
Tundra.
Yeah, and so, like, one of the companies that we just kinda, like, tripped and stumbled onto, is this company called Kingpin Industries or something, and, it's, like, just this guy who had designed these really nice, LED lights that rotate, and so we've mounted them I inside all the he has an RSI smart cap that we put on this guy's Tundra, and like, dude, these lights are amazing. And, you would think based on social media and all of this stuff that it's some gigantic company, and it's
But it's
just
just a
a
dude.
guy that has designed this, and the lights are amazing. Like they have you can change from like white light to, the amber red and all of that, and they're really high quality and they mount perfectly into the smart cap, like, the gull wings when they open up, you
Yeah.
know. So,
Yeah.
like, that's just a great example of, like, could you go on Amazon and buy some, like, Chinesium LED light that sticks to the thing? Sure, you could
Yep.
totally do that.
Yep.
Or you could spend a little bit more, and it's really affordable, honestly, but buy these Kingpin lights from a dude who's here in the States, who's making this thing, who's trying to basically build the American dream for himself and his family, through this idea that he had, and, so we're really excited about stuff like that. I'm excited about, bringing a spotlight on some of these really awesome companies that maybe people don't really know about yet that are doing some cool things.
Yeah.
And then I'm excited about like bringing on, uh, all of the YouTube
Yeah.
creator types and even just normalizing them.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
before
Like,
we actually go into that,
yeah.
I'd like to give a little just a glimpse into my background. I have actually been to China
Hmm.
to go to the trade show
Yep.
where they do this equipment. And sometime many, many, many years ago, I actually formed a company to do my own LED lights when light bars were just coming out.
Yeah.
And so I got a glimpse into shed some light, if you will, into what it's like for these Chinese companies to manufacture this stuff. And there are definite different levels of quality of LED equipment, anodizing, electrical, all that stuff. And I tell you what, based on what I've seen, and look, a lot of these guys in the American that create their own American dreams,
Yeah.
they're getting
Totally.
equipment from there, but they've done the research to find the better stuff. It
Right.
does exist,
Yeah, for sure.
so I just
Totally.
wanna give a little bit on that.
Yeah.
So, but
No, I totally agree. And yeah, I mean, most stuff is made, or at least components are made overseas and things
yeah,
like that for sure.
yeah,
But the companies that are successful are the ones that are making sure that what they're sourcing from the best places. And I would say
yes,
Kingpin's a great example of that. So,
yeah.
um,
So
yeah,
you were talking about the
yeah,
influencers and
like
fellow
yeah,
creators.
just I think like I even hate the term influencer, right? Like I just because influencer comes with this assumption that you have influence. And I'm not sure that YouTube has the influence that we think it does,
I
or
completely disagree.
or
Okay.
or that these influencer types have are having a positive influence, right? Like you can be an influencer and it doesn't mean that it's necessarily a positive influence.
Yeah, I could influence you to trash your life.
Right, 100%. And
Yeah.
so I just think like I think that one of the things I'm excited about with
Go
this.
get a Land Rover, trash your life.
Yeah, trash your life, buy a Land Rover. One of the things I'm excited about with the podcast is having on the influencers that we know that are the real deal, that are kind, humble, the types of people that, when you walk up to at an expo aren't going to brush you off and not have time to talk to you, but, are willing to answer your questions and tell you about their adventures because they have had an influence, they've had an impact on your life in some way, shape, or form, like, when I think about, um, some of the earliest Overland YouTube content that I ever connected with, it was Swell Runner because he was like one of the early Florida Overland, whatever that meant at the time, people. And now Jason Kirchie's a friend of mine, friend of
Yeah,
ours, and
yeah. He
um,
comes out, brings the
100%.
kids, goes
Just a
camping with
normal
us.
guy with kids and, I really like that dude, and so,
Yeah,
the more that I think we can connect people in a more human way and less of this, like, maybe transactional, just, like, play a YouTube video way, and again, I love YouTube. I watch YouTube all the time. It's probably the majority of the content that I consume is YouTube.
absolutely. Same here.
I don't even watch normal TV anymore unless it's football,
Dang cat
you
videos.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah, but but yeah, I'm just excited about that element of the podcast,
yeah,
and getting guests on like the Jason Kirchies and like Bill and Debbie Reed, of Cottywample Overland, friends of ours who are like, yeah, we'd totally love to be on the podcast and to be involved
yeah.
in what you're doing. So,
You,
tell me a little bit about kind of like what you're excited about or what you're thinking about having some of those types of guests on.
yeah. So it's definitely the humanizing those people because look, I'm not going to go out there and say that every individual that I've met in this industry is a glowing flower of
No,
positivity and
I
stuff
agree.
like that.
Yeah, trust me, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
And
I'm not
so
always a glowing flower of positivity.
no, but you've got friends, but that's not that you are one of the most flowery people I know. Perhaps I've used the wrong term for this, but
Do I look like a flower now?
with that beard, definitely you are definitely in bloom. This is- you know, but I have a pretty strong filter for the people I don't like.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
like, all right, more power to you, be an asshole. Go for it. But I'm not going to hang out with you because I don't like you. But I'm not going to be rude and I'm not going to, start a fight and just tell them, hey, you're wrong for being this way. It's like, nah, you're just not my person. It's fine.
Sure. Yeah, that's okay.
And so that's why, like, us as Waypoint Unknown and those of us that are going to be co-hosting this podcast, why we've stuck around each other for the last, what, 4 years?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah. A
Dang, yeah.
presidency worth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, now it's time to break up and get on rid of
4
all the
more ye
rules.
4 more years. 4 more years of
Um,
Waypoint Unknown.
four score and okay, let's stop quoting political. That was Abraham, by the way, folks. Four score and 20 years ago. Um, something about crows and a pie. All right. So basically, making these influencers just real people because we all have lives.
Mhm.
A lot of us have children. Many of us have jobs, and we just have been doing this stuff on the side.
Yeah.
I've always been more on the back end of stuff, an influencer behind the influencers. You've been a witness of that,
Mhm.
which has
Yep.
kind of led to where we are right now with
Sure.
Waypoint Unknown podcast and stuff like that. Because I've always wanted just a core group of friends to do this with.
Sure.
I never wanted to be a YouTube sensation, which is why I basically stopped doing videos, is I just got tired of it. You know,
Yep.
Initially I was doing my videos for my friends because I've been going on so many adventures. Like, dude, why don't you do a blog? We're
Yeah.
talking like 20 years ago,
Sure, yeah.
you know? And I'm like, but then I have to write it. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that was always my outlook on all the YouTube stuff was like, the time that it takes to edit a video because 'cause I'm slow
yeah,
as molasses, like, I'd rather be doing something else?
totally.
Yeah.
I even forget when I'm supposed to be doing content, forget to do content because
Yeah.
I'm busy doing what I'm doing,
Right, yeah.
you
Like,
know?
out on the trail, it's like the last thing I wanna do is pull out my phone or
Yeah.
whatever, so
So it's important, I think, that we thank the people that actually take the time and put the effort in
I
to do
agree.
this
Yeah.
content because I consume it,
Yeah.
right? And I appreciate that. And so this would be a way to acknowledge them as like, hey, listen, you put this crazy effort into doing this,
Yeah.
but who are you?
Right. Yeah.
you know?
No, I agree with that. I think that I think that's a unique thing to not just like bring somebody on and have them promote their stuff, but like, but who are you really? Like my football coach in high school used to say, in his pep talks, he'd always remind us, and it made no sense, but he would remind us that the other team puts their pants on the same way that we do. And I
Mm.
remember being like,
I
what
put
the
mine on backwards,
yeah,
coach.
I was like, "What?" But in the same way, like, it was his attempt at saying, "We're all human. We're all we're all flesh and bone," like, we are just humans doing this thing, and so, I think there is, like, an opportunity for the human element of the YouTube and the Overland influencer sphere to have a cool space on the Waypoint Unknown podcast to talk about life and to talk about overlanding with kids or without kids or on two wheels or four or on the West Coast or the East Coast or in other
Yeah,
countries or whatever. So,
yeah.
yeah,
Both of us,
I'm
I
super
think,
excited
actually
about
have
that.
experience in all of those areas, if I'm not
Sure.
mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So it's nice that we come from a point of experience where we can talk about, hey, what's it like to do a two-wheel adventure?
Right. Mhm.
Well, you can't carry that drawer system, that's for sure.
Yeah. You want to talk
Yeah,
about being thin on stuff, like when I think about my motorcycle camping tent, like the whole tent is like this
yeah,
big, it's
yep.
like, and jeez, it's like my poor neck, there's no pillow. It's just like, here's what we're doing,
What?
like,
No, dude, I had a pillow that rolled up to about this,
oh yeah, so do
and
I, but
but
I'm just
but
on a good pillow.
no, this was a good pillow. You also blew it up,
Well, that's
and so it got to
it
be
got
about
bigger.
that big. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it just fit right on your neck.
It's a little particular about my pillows, I need my
I hear you.
orthopedic pillow. I've got
Yeah,
I've got janky football neck. It doesn't work very
I
well.
understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I'll be there for you. You can sleep on my arm.
I just sleep under shower. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah,
I
man.
also
Good.
what?
Go ahead.
I also am very excited to help introduce products to
Yeah,
the community.
sure.
So, like, a perfect example would be Slinky Stove,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, we met him at the, last, Florida Expo, the Save Expo. He brought it over and we're like, "Hey, this thing's actually pretty cool." And we
Yeah.
had the opportunity, I don't know if you know this, but I've been in touch with him ever since, and I've even had him come to Ecom
Oh, that's
events with
cool.
me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so short by side story, everyone, I'm actually in another life of mine. I'm actually my real life, I'm in e-commerce. It's what I've been doing for 15 years.
Yeah.
And I actually have helped brands launch into America and stuff like that. But so we had a chance to test out his stoves and give him some feedback. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but he's implemented it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so
No,
his
yeah.
next run is
Yeah.
going to be what we suggested that he
Mhm.
change.
Yep. Yeah,
You know?
I mean, I remember when he brought the stove over, I was kinda like, at first I was like, "Here's some, I don't know, another solo stove, whatever." And then when he pulled it out and he unslink or like,
Mhm. Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, that's brilliant."
Yeah.
And
And it could have been cheap Chinese junk, but it is really high
oh, yeah.
quality
No,
metal
it's super
products.
cool. It's
Yeah.
super cool, and it's really I mean, we love ours up at the shop, like, we have one up there on display, and, we use it for stuff, and it's great. It's held
Yeah.
up well, so,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think it's
So
gonna be cool to be able to put a spotlight on companies like that are up and coming, that are, I think, adding value to our adventures and stuff like that.
yeah, because that's where it all starts. All of these big companies, they started out there,
Totally. Yep.
and I wanna continue to support the inventors and innovators in our space. So
Yeah.
that's another thing that I love about this podcast is how we're gonna be able to help people do
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Yeah, and I think the really cool connection between the Waypoint Unknown podcast living inside of the Sunshine State Adventure Co. ecosystem, but also the connection to our shop is a cool thing because we're actually putting these products on vehicles for customers. We're torture testing stuff and building relationships with these companies, so I think there's some really cool parallels there that I think will add value to the podcast itself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I it would be my preference to speak about any product from a viewpoint of experience with it,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah, like an example of hope may well, I don't even know if this will work, but, we're putting, Iron Man 4x4 has a brand new, IM 2.5 kit that they just came out with, and it's nice, and we're
Yeah.
putting one on a
Hol
Forerunner and a
hold
couple.
on, explain what an IM 2.5 kit is.
Yeah, so it's their latest, greatest coilover system. So everything's larger diameter, heavy duty coilover system, and it comes with all the fixins. I mean, it's got the adjustable track bar. I
Spin?
mean, yeah, it's got
Oh,
everything, and so comes with upper control arms, all of that. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it from what I've seen, the product has been delivered to the shop, and we unboxed it, kind of getting ready for this customer install.
this is going in the Tundra?
No, no, this is going in a Forerunner, actually.
Okay,
Yeah, Forerunners.
awesome.
But it's super high quality stuff. And so, anyways, like that, and this is a brand new product for them. So maybe we can get Iron Man, somebody from Iron Man on the podcast to talk
Oh,
about
dude, we
that
should
at some point.
totally do that.
Totally. Yeah. So, but
Yeah,
but that's an example of a new product that's come on the
yes,
market that we can talk about, and that we'll have at the shop, that Gene and the guys at the shop will have firsthand knowledge of how it installs, how it works, all of that.
yeah. I love these companies that come out with this high quality stuff. Another one that I've done business with in the past and actually been to their manufacturing facility is Camberg.
Mhm. Yep.
Um, just incredible parts. They come from Baja Racing.
Yep. Yep.
I
High-end
mean,
stuff, man. Yep.
yeah,
Yep, Camberg is a great example. Moose knuckle,
yep, moose knuckle.
I know that we all of our rigs have the split jowl
Yeah,
D-ring on there. I mean, I remember when you sent that over to us, I was like, "How did I never think of that? That's
dude, I
brilliant."
know, right?
And so
Yeah.
if we had had the podcast way back then, we could have brought them on and been like,
So
"Help,"
I've already spoken to Kyle. He's going to be on the
That's
podcast.
awesome. Cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah,
Yeah, Kyle's awesome. Moose Knuckles a great company, and
yeah.
yeah,
Super high
that's
quality
exciting,
stuff.
man. I am grateful. Thank you for being willing to do this. There's no way with everything that I have going on that I would be able to do this, and you have a unique level of experience and skill set that I think adds a ton of value to what we're trying to do and how we're trying to grow the Sunshine State Adventure
Yeah.
Co. Um,
Conglomerate.
yeah, yeah, I mean, just the ecosystem of that, like, my heart is very similar to yours. I want people to experience the adventure of a lifetime, and this life is short, and you and I talk about this all the time, like, when you ask people, "Oh, how are you doing? How are you doing?" "Oh, I'm busy. I'm really busy." "We're doing good. We're really busy." And I just keep going back to it. It's like we can be busy or we can get busy living. And I think we need to get busy living. And if this podcast inspires people to get busy living, then that's a win. And I think you're going to do a great job of doing that through the guests that we bring on and the conversations that you have with them. So thanks for being willing to do it, man. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, you bet. I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time, specifically with you and the other guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
So,
I'm
yeah.
excited about it. It'll be fun to have Brad from Overlandaroos on a good bit, and Asia from Baptism Overland. We'll
I
we'll
think
we
he's actually rebranded as Beast of Burden now,
Oh,
like
is he
fully done. Yeah,
rebranded? Beast
yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
Burden. My apologies,
Yeah.
Asia. And then we can get Gene on here. We can have the Angry Troll Mechanic. That's his rebrand.
It's no longer Daddy Gene, huh?
It's
It's
no
angry.
longer nope. Angry Troll Mechanic.
Yeah. All right, cool.
At least
Well,
at least
bef
lately.
before I ever met him, you said he was one of the best techs you've ever seen.
Oh, hands down. The best mechanic that I know. Yeah.
Yeah, which
Dude,
is
the
awesome.
the stuff he's doing right now, like all the custom stuff that he's doing with, like, wiring and electrical stuff on this, Tundra that we're building is
See,
insane. Like, it's
that's
so
the
cool.
thing. Yeah, and I know you come from a position to be able to say that because you used to, build race cars,
Mhm.
with
Yep.
your pappy,
Yeah.
and
Yep,
and
we
I'm actually a
got a little
master
bit of
Jaguar technician.
right. Yeah, so
So
there's a little bit of experience there. So yeah, I mean, the stuff that Gene can do is unbelievable. And we just hired over at the shop, we just hired another guy, brought him on the team. His name's Willie, and he's a like master fabricator welder. And so which is huge. I mean, Gene can weld, he can do all of that too, but what Willie brings to the table is pretty next level. And so we're really excited about that. So yeah, stuff there is going well, and I'm excited that stuff in the internet side of things with this adventure of kind of digital influence, if you will, is going to go
yeah,
well as well. So
it will.
appreciate you, man. I'm
Yeah, buddy.
excited. Glad we got our first podcast done. We can check
Yep,
that one off the list.
that one's done.
I know that this will be the first one we've ever done and the worst one we've ever done, because it's only up from here. All the following podcasts are just going to keep getting better and better and better.
I sure hope so. This one was pretty bad. Well, thank you everyone for listening, especially for listening all the way through. If you'd like to learn more about the Waypoint Unknown podcast and the Waypoint Unknown group of buddies and Sunshine State Adventure Co., head on over to sunshinestateadventureco.com and you will find what you're looking for. We promise. He promises. I don't promise anything.
I do promise. There we go. Thanks
Yep.
for listening, guys. Have a good
All
one.
right. Bye, everybody. See you on the next one.